Hey guys, welcome back. So, this is going to be a review. I don't think it's going to take that long either, you guys, because I'm going to tell you guys why. I saw the movie Black Panther and I have so much to say and so little time to say it. So, I waited to go see the movie because I wanted everybody else to go see it so I can get an idea of, is this movie worth going to see? And I only went to go see it based on the reviews. Otherwise, I would not have gone to see this movie. But I listened to you guys. I listened to the hype. And I went to go see Black Panther yesterday. And it was so crazy because yesterday, like out of nowhere in Los Angeles, you guys, it was full of rain. Like we getting so much rain these past few days. We're like, where is this rain coming from? Today is like March 3rd and we getting all this rain. Like it rained all day yesterday. So I plan to take, because I live literally like 2 stops away from Universal Studios. So I was going to take the train, but then I said, you know what? I'm not going to take the train in this rain. Like I need to take Uber or Lyft. So I ended up just taking Lyft. And they took forever to get to my place. I'm like, dude, what is going on? Why are they taking like forever in a century just to get here? Like, you know how you can follow the car on the map to see where the car is. So I'm following the car and I'm like, okay, it's going down Hollywood and towards Hollywood and Vine. And I live towards the opposite end, towards Hollywood and Highland. So I'm tripping out, y'all, because I'm like, I'm going to miss my movie. I'm going to miss my movie. I can't be late. And the movie started at 6 o'clock last night. So I got like an evening movie. It wasn't too late, right? And because I will fall asleep. If I go to see a movie too late, forget about it. I'm sleeping. So I'm looking at her on the map, like, come on, hurry up and get here. So she finally get here, right? And she was one of those drivers who wanted to talk. She was like, so where are you going? Are you going home? And I'm like, no, you actually just picked me up from my house. I'm going to the movies. No, first she was like, so you're going to hang out at Universal Studios? I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm going to the movies. And so she was like, oh, what are you going to see? I'm like, Black Panther, finally. I heard that it was a really good movie, so I'm going to go ahead and see it, right? She was like, yeah, my boyfriend, he's the AR on that movie, and I have a friend who also worked on the movie, too, in the art department. I'm like, okay, interesting. Just get me there. You know, it's no surprise to run into people who are involved in the movie industry. I mean, this is Hollywood, right? So I'm like, just get me there. There's a lot of traffic, you know. She's like, wow, it's a lot of traffic on the road. I'm like, obviously, but let's just get there. And I don't live literally, I live like driving probably, you can get there in 7 minutes from where I live to Universal Studios. So I don't live that far, you know. And because Universal Studios is a universal city and I live in Hollywood. So I'm like, come on. So I finally made it there in time. I got there at about 5:30. Went to go get because I had already purchased tickets in advance. So all I had to do was just go straight in. And I stopped to Cinnabon. I had to get me some snacks before I went in. So I stopped to Cinnabon to get me something to eat, whatever. Because I hadn't had one of those little Cinnabon things in a long time. And I just had to go get one. And it was just so delicious. But so after I got right, you know, before I went in, I finally went in, you guys. And I sat down. You know, oh, I forgot to say, like she was asking me, why are you going to Universal Studios when you live closer? There's a theater right here on Sunset Boulevard. Because I live off of like closer to Hollywood Boulevard. But there is a theater. I mean, there's several theaters actually in the neighborhood where I live. So there is a Chinese theater I could have went to, but I'm like, nah, I don't even know if they're playing the movie there. They probably are. And that is closer, a lot closer. But I prefer to go to AMC. Like, I like AMC theaters because they have recliner seats. So I had to go, any movie I go see in a theater, I have to go see it in a very nice theater and it has to have comfortable seating. That's just a requirement for me. But, so I told her that and she like paused for a minute. She's like, in her mind, I bet she's like, this girl is kind of weird. But no, I just have a preference. I feel like if I'm going to pay for something that I enjoy, right, I might as well just get the top quality, right? That's just my line of thinking. So I feel like it's not really that far because even if I would have took public transportation, that's only just 2 stops on the train from where I live and boom, I'm there. So big deal. So the movie starts, right? And I'm like, I'm all focused. I'm like, let me focus because number one, this is a Marvel movie. This is based on a comic book story. And I'm like, I'm not really into comic books like that. But since there was a lot of hype about the movie, if you guys saw the movie, feel free to comment below and share your opinion or thought about the movie. I mean, don't hold back because I'm not going to hold back in this review. But I had to brace myself before the movie started because I'm like, okay, there's been a lot of hype about the movie, but I know I don't really like this kind of movie. I don't like superhero stories. But I gave in and I purchased a ticket and I said, I'm going to go and see the movie, you know? So, because I felt like I was being left out. Like, I felt like everybody else had saw the movie and now that I haven't seen it, like, I'm missing out on something, right? I really felt like I was missing out on something really important. So that's the reason why I went and bought my ticket and I went to go see the movie yesterday. The movie starts and I'm satisfied with the opening. I'm like, okay, it starts and the story begins in Oakland, California. So I'm like, interesting. I like the fact that it felt real in the beginning. It felt like a story that I could maybe identify with or relate to. I'm like, okay, they are trying to make a connection between African Americans or people living in living in America who are African American and people who are living in Africa. Okay, they're trying to bridge the gap or somehow show that there's a connection between how they got in California and how, coming from Africa. So I kind of like that opening. But then I'm trying to remember because there was a point in the movie in the beginning, you guys, and this is just in the beginning, that it lost me, y'all. I was lost, like literally just that fast. And I think I remember where it was. I think I remember because it was like maybe 5-10 minutes into the movie where out of nowhere they had the Marvel logo just pop up out of nowhere, like flash on the screen. I'm like, what is this? So I guess it was just like an introduction that they were trying to do, how they do like in most movies, but I felt like it was so abrupt. Like it happened so abruptly. I'm like, what is this? Like, why is this random freaking logo popping up on the screen? So then I think from there, like it took us to Africa. And so like it transitioned into a different location and took us to Africa. And then like, I swear I don't really remember much about the movie, y'all. I remember bits and pieces of the movie, but I swear, like, I'm just going to be honest with you guys. This was not my kind of movie. I mean, I knew that going in. I just forced myself to go see it because everybody saw it. And I wanted to figure out what is this hype about, because I like movies. But there are certain kinds of movies that I like. And so I'm like, I was just lost, you guys. I swear, like, the whole story, I was lost. I can't tell you what happened in the story. So if you guys who saw the movie who followed the movie, the storyline, and know what happened in the movie, please bring us up to speed and comment below and let us know what the hell happened in Black Panther. But I cannot tell you. I can tell you, give you kind of like my general conception of what I thought about the movie, how I was able to make sense of it, but I can't tell you like bit by bit what happened. Like I'll normally do my reviews and I tell you, okay, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. I can't do that because I got lost. Literally, I can tell you what happened to me while watching the movie. Like I literally got taken out of the story and I went to my phone. I'm like, okay, I got so distracted. So I picked up my phone. I'm like playing around on my phone on Facebook. I'm checking my Gmail account. I'm like, what am I doing? I didn't pay $22 to go see this movie just to go get on my phone. But I'm literally like on my phone during the movie because I swear I did not know what the hell was going on. Like, and I think this is what it is. Besides when they had the interruption of the Marvel logo that just popped on the screen out of nowhere, like across the full screen, you guys, they had Marvel just show up. And it's like, this is after the movie started. So we're already watching the movie. Now out of nowhere, big ass Marvel logo just pop up. So I think what it was besides that was the fighting. Like in the movie, and I'm going to give you guys 3 reasons why I really don't care for the Black Panther movie. I have to just be honest with you guys. Like, 3 reasons. So there was a lot of hype about this movie. Everybody knows. And I meant to look up how much the budget cost. And I'm sure it was over $100 million to make this movie, or close to it. Like, it had to be. Because from what I hear, the numbers in the box office now is close to $1 billion. So the movie has had much success already. But there was a lot of hype. And I felt like it did not live up to its hype. You know, people were saying that, oh, this movie is a positive representation of Black people. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, what the fuck is this? This is fighting. These people are fighting each other and killing each other. How is that a positive representation of Black people? Like, please tell me. That may be an authentic representation of Black people, but I don't see how that is a positive representation of Black people. I mean, somebody fill me in on that. Where in the movie, like, what are you guys referring to when you guys say that Black Panther is a positive representation of African people or Black people? Because I don't see it. I don't see it. I can tell you what I did see, though. Some aspects, because of course it's not all bad. Of course, my review here is not going to be all critical, but there were some parts that I did like. Like, of course, the costume design. I love it. I felt like it made us feel like these were real characters in that place and time that they were portraying in the movie, just based on the way they were dressed, the way they looked. $200 million to make. Bingo. Thank you, Victor. I knew that it cost over $100 million. I mean, of course, you can see where the money went at in the movie. You know, just looking at the costumes, they were nice. I mean, looking at just Black people on screen, period. That's beautiful, right? Like, we are a beautiful creation. So I like that, you know, that aspect of it. Like, there were predominantly Black characters on screen that we were looking at, because 90% of the time, what do we see? White people on the screen, you know? And I love white people. I love all people, but it's just, it feels different. It feels so rewarding when you go to the movie theater and you're looking at this big ass freaking football size screen, and you see people that you can identify with, that people that look like you. That's just a different experience. So I like that. But I just have to keep it real. The movie did not live up to its hype, because I'm like, where in the movie? Like, what are you guys talking about? How did this movie represent Black people in a positive light? Because I didn't see it. The fighting, the killing, I don't like that, period, in any movie. Like, I don't like watching movies where there's a lot of killing, where people are killing, people are dying by like guns and, you know, bombs are getting blown up, or like, I don't like gory stuff like that. I mean, I think it's okay when it's kind of dispersed into the movie and it serves a purpose, because we know part of living is dying, and that's just how some people die. But I don't like the blood. I don't like that. I don't like the fighting. So to see that there was a heavy amount of that in the movies, like throughout the entire movie, and the fact that these were Black people, African people who were doing it, I didn't like that. I'm like, what am I watching? Like, I kept sitting in my seat just wondering to myself, like, what is this? Like, but I had to remind myself, okay, look who made it. Marvel made it, so it makes sense. But this does not portray Black people in a positive. I'm like, how does this portray Black people in a positive light? I don't know. Maybe they were talking about the fact that it was the kingdom, I guess, the country, because the country was called Wakanda, and it was supposed to be this very powerful country, but at the same time, within the context of white supremacy. I'm like, white supremacy still exists in this movie, but you guys are saying that it's just this Renaissance movie. Like, the way the reviews, when I was reading the reviews and just watching people's responses on Facebook and on social media, like, I got the impression that this was the movie. You get what I'm saying? This was the movie of the times to really get things turned into the right direction for the Black community. And I don't know, like, this was some Black Renaissance movie, right? Like, it was a movement or something. And I'm watching it, I'm like, how is this any different than any other freaking movie that is made within the context of white supremacy? This is not the movie. How everybody's saying, like, oh, this is the movie. This is it. You know? Because everybody knows that so far we haven't had a movie that really depicts Africa let alone African Americans, in a positive light. Consistently throughout the movie, where you just feel so empowered. Yes, our reality is like important. The whole we're poor, we're at the bottom reality. Like, okay, that's important to educate people about that, but I'm like, okay, if that's all we see, come on, that's just gonna be our reality forever. When are we gonna change that narrative? So I didn't like that it didn't live up to its hype. I'm like, you guys, what are you guys talking about? Are you guys just saying just because how they look? Because Black people just are beautiful people and we look so beautiful on screen. So I agree with that. Yes, we look great. Like like I said, the costume design, the characters and how they look, their presentation on camera was immaculate. It was great. It was beautiful. Like, I love it. Just pure Black, even tone skin. Just beautiful, right? I love that. But I'm like, it has to be more than that makes a good movie. You get what I'm saying? Like, I think a good movie really starts with a story. And the fact that it lost me, the storyline lost me, I couldn't keep up, and I'm like, okay, if there's still white supremacy that exists and the Black people in the movie still have to answer to white people. Like, I'm noticing that, there's a CIA that still exists in the movie. I'm thinking that they're creating a whole new world that gives Black people some hope. You get what I'm saying? And I'm like, how is this giving us any hope when we're like still being tapped on the shoulder? Like, hey, we still exist. Like, white supremacy still exists. The CIA still exists. Like, we're still over you. We still control you because, like I said, the so-called powerful nation, Wakanda, in Africa, like, it still was considered a third world country. How is that empowering African people? Like, I'm just going to keep it real. From my perspective, I don't see it. So that's why I'm asking you guys, please feel free to comment below and tell me, how did this movie Black Panther represent African people in a positive light? I don't see it. So I'm moving on along. That was my first reason why I didn't like the movie, right? That I felt like it just didn't live up to its hype. The second reason is the characters. Now, I think that they had a great selection of characters in the movie. I should have looked up the girl's name. I think she's a model, and I think she's African. The one that was the most beautiful woman in the movie, I think, at least to me anyway. I don't know her name. I wish I would have looked up her name, but I didn't. But she had very short hair, and she had like the little knots on her hair. I don't remember. Somebody please comment below and tell me what her name is, because I hate when I can't say people's names. But I like that they chose her. Like, she's so beautiful, man. She's like, I don't know. I can't even put her into words. She's great. She is this goddess in the movie, and she's just a pleasure to look at in the movie. So I think they did great with that part. And of course, even the other characters that they chose, that Angela Bassett was in the movie. And I like how they had her with the gray dreads. Like, that was so beautiful. I like that. I like that they had Idris Elba. They had the character from Creed. Michael B. Jordan was in there. And then, y'all, I almost flipped out my seat when I saw your boy. His name, I think in real life, his name is Daniel Kaluuya. And he's an English actor. But he was in there from Get Out. Y'all, when I saw him on screen, I was like, oh my gosh. And not only that, but when I saw him, right, when he appeared on screen, he looked so sexy. I'm like, damn, this motherfucker fine. Like, it was a big contrast from the character that he portrayed in Get Out and the character that he plays in Black Panther. I'm like, get out of here. This motherfucker is fine, dog. So all of the characters I felt like they chose for this movie to play, to represent, I guess, Black African people, in a positive light, so to speak, in this movie. Yeah, they were very beautiful, very strong characters. Like, they brought it. I love that, But here's my criticism, because you guys know I always have criticisms. I just have to keep it real, I don't like when they choose African American or Black characters to play African characters. I'm like, stop it. Like, they try to mimic. To me, it sounds like they're mocking African people. Like, that's how I feel. Like, if you're gonna have, if you want in your story, in your movie, the characters are supposed to be a certain ethnicity, a certain race. of people, then why not get the real people from that region to play that role? That to me, shit, sorry guys. I had to reposition myself and my phone fell. Sorry. See, I'm getting too crunk, y'all. But I'm like, why not get people from that region to play that role? Like, to me, that really bothers me, the fact that they have these African American actors attempting to create these accents for the characters that they're playing. And I don't like it. Let me fix this. Because they are missing the mark. I mean, yeah, I feel like they sound like they are African, but I'm like, that's not how Africans talk. Like, everybody know, come on, like, you're mocking the people and their language. That's just not how they sound. So that was my criticism, in terms of the characters. And I feel like when you have certain characters that can do that. So it's not to say that people that speak one language can't play a character that speaks a different language, because Idris Elba, he's a prime example, and a lot of other English actors, they're able to lose that strong, thick English accent to play these American roles. So I love that. And it seems to work well when it goes from that direction. But when it goes from the other direction, where you take African or American or even American actors and try to give them some foreign accent, it doesn't translate over quite well, to me anyway. It doesn't. To me, it's like a joke, and I feel like you are mocking. I mean, everybody knows when you look at these characters, these American characters, it's like everybody knows these people are American, They do not have a foreign accent. Like, they are not African. We know that. We know Angela Bassett is not African, right? Not African in the purest sense anyway. She's African American, but come on, she's not an African from that particular country that the movie is trying to depict. And come on, just stop it. I felt like it was a joke to me. Like, I find it a joke. So I'm going to move on. And my last criticism, this is the third point. The third reason why I feel like this movie, I'm not going to say it was garbage, but just not my cup of tea, was the CGI, you guys. Like, I'm not a big fan of CGI. It's just too much of it. Okay, one scene here and there is fine, but I feel like they overdid it. I feel like I was watching Planet of the Apes or something. Like, I feel like I was watching a fake-ass movie or Disney movie. It just felt so fake to me. I feel like black people, it's sad. I don't know. I think I'm going back to the first point, how it was a lot of hype about the movie, Black people said, oh, it represents us as a positive light. I feel like we don't have the fact that most of black movies that we have are like gangster movies, hood movies and shit like that. So when we have something of this nature where it on the surface appears to be like it's a good representation because it's people dressed in this nice regalia, there's people that's dressed in these nice garments, right? And it's all beautiful and flashy. And they have a lot of confidence in themselves, and they appear to be very strong, in personality and physicality. It just seems as though black people just have this, I feel like, overvaluance of those characters in the movie, or just over appreciation for movies like that in general, because we just don't have shit to compare it against. Like, when you don't have anything necessarily of top quality that represents the African American community to compare it against, only thing you have is some ghetto ass ratchet hood movies, then it's like, okay, what do you expect? Finally, we get something that seems like it gives a little bit resemblance of, African culture. We just lose our minds. I think that's what happened. So the CGI, I'm like, it's just, they overdid it. Like, it's just too much CGI. And if I knew it was fake. Like, I don't know. I don't know if it's because, like, I've studied filmmaking. And I don't know if I told you guys this, but yes, I went to school. I did about over a year as a student, a graduate student in film school. So I have a different, I guess, perspective and my way I look at films. Like, I don't know. I can see certain things maybe that the general public don't see when they're watching films. And so I critique it a little bit differently. I analyze it a little bit differently. And I'm like, I could see parts of the movie where I'm like, oh, this is CGI. Like, this shit is fake, you know? But there were other parts of the movie where I'm watching, I'm like, wow, this is beautiful. Like, looking at the sky and how the sky looked very magical. You know, and the kids were standing, they were looking up at the sky. And they were looking up at this aircraft that seemed to be like some type of weird spaceship from outer space. And they were looking at it up in the sky. And that looked, to me, I liked that scene. That was very beautiful. But a lot of parts, I'm like, okay, this is fake. It feels like I was watching, like I said, some Superman movie or some Planet of the Apes or some Disney movie. So y'all, I would have to say I would pass on that, and I will just be honest with you. I felt disappointed. Like, I forced myself to watch the rest of the movie, which was like a whole nother hour, I think, and a half, because the moment I began to lose interest was like in the beginning of the movie. I swear, like when that Marvel logo popped up, I lost interest like right there. I'm like, wait a minute. It took me out of the story, and not only that, but also the fighting, because that was in the beginning too, where they were just like, I guess the tribes were fighting. I don't know. I was lost, you guys. I'm just gonna be honest. I was lost. I didn't know what was going on, and I'm like, they're fighting. Like, how is this a positive representation? I don't know. So I was disappointed. And from that point, I forced myself to sit in the chair the rest of the movie because I'm like, I paid for it. And maybe I felt like maybe the movie will get better. So I stayed there and I continued to watch it because I felt like, okay, this is just the beginning. And I felt like, okay, this is just the middle. Maybe there's going to be some redemption power at the end. Maybe there's going to be some type of hope, right? And maybe there's a token or something. Did I miss it, you guys? Because there were, like I said, there were parts where I was completely zoned out. And I was like on my phone and I was not paying attention at all to the movie. So please comment below if there was something that I missed about the movie. But that's my review of the movie. Overall, I would give it, to be honest, I would have to give it like 2 stars. That's just my honest opinion. And those 2 stars are simply because of the characters that they chose, the people that they chose, I guess. Yes, they were beautiful, even though I felt like they missed the mark with, you know, the accent that they were trying to bring. But I don't know. I say the characters because they're black, you know, and I like to see black people on screen. So that's one point. And then the other point, I guess, is because of the investment, the amount of money that they put into this movie. I guess they tried, right? So they get 2 stars for trying, I guess, you know. I don't know. But I feel like the reviews and the hype, stop it, you guys. Stop hyping up movies that are not that good. You know, maybe it's good to you, but for a person like me who doesn't even like Marvel movies or comic books, I'm like, this is some bullshit. I don't even know, how was the movie rated? Because being that there was a lot of like violence, it seems to me, in the movie, like, I don't think it was appropriate for kids to watch. It's just too much violence. I don't like movies with a lot of violence. That's just not my thing. Like, I get taken out. It reminded me of like a Fast and the Furious type of movie. It was just too fast for me. Too much shit going on. Too much action. Too much fighting, violence, and fakeness. So that's my review. And thank you guys for watching. Feel free to share it. And feel free to share your comments below on what you thought of the movie. I mean, we all have our opinion, right? That's just mine. But thank you guys for watching. Catch you guys later. Bye.